Have you considered how rent increases can affect the value of your property? In this video, I'm going to be taking you through the key challenges that landlords face, as well as things we can do to overcome these challenges. Be sure to stick around to the end, as I will be sharing a free gift to help you with your property. On a weekly basis, we deal with landlords seeking to either offload their properties or potentially refinance them. Naturally, they aim to attain market value for their properties while retaining tenants in place. As serving notice on tenants can be a lengthy process, particularly given the current conditions in the rental market, but they struggle due to the rental income. Are you renting your property at market value? Or have you refrained from raising the rent due to a long-term tenant you're hesitant to displace? It's worth noting that failing to adjust your rent in line with the market trends can significantly impact your investment's property value. As landlords, you're likely well aware of how stringent lenders' criteria can be for buy-to-let properties. One crucial factor they scrutinise is rental income. Over the past couple of years, their stress tests have become more rigorous, coupled with increases in mortgage rates. Consequently, selling a property with tenants in place without meeting these criteria could result in substantial financial loss, potentially amounting to thousands of pounds. If this is the case, you only have a couple of options. One, you can increase the rent to market value before selling, which may be difficult for your tenant to financially accept. Two, you can evict the tenant and sell with vacant possession, which can result in a lengthy and expensive process. Or thirdly, reduce the price in line with the current rental income, which may result in you losing out on a lot of money. Another issue to consider is that your tenant may have become accustomed to paying a low rent for an extended period. If they ever need to relocate, they might face financial difficulties, as rental rates for comparable properties are typically much higher, often double the amount. By not gradually adjusting the rent to reflect market trends, you may unknowingly be putting your tenant at a disadvantage. They may find it challenging to transition to a new home or negotiate with a new landlord who intends to set the rent at the market value. This means that it is important to consider the long-term financial well-being of your tenant as well. Before I jump into how we can avoid these challenges with your rental properties, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel if you're finding this video helpful. Now, here are some ways that you can avoid these challenges with your rental properties. First of all, stay informed. It is important to be continuously monitoring the market by keeping an eye on similar properties in your area and their current rental rates. Being knowledgeable about market trends is crucial to effectively manage your rents. You can do this by checking platforms like Rightmove and Zoopla. Secondly, you can implement gradual rent increases. Consider gradually raising your rent every 12 months, even by small margins if your rent is already close to market price. This approach makes sure that you maximise your investment returns while reducing the risk of negatively impacting your property's value. By doing these marginal increases, it can be more manageable for your tenants financially when compared to sudden significant hikes. Negotiate with the tenants. Engage in open communication and negotiation with your tenants when it comes to rent adjustments. You don't necessarily have to serve a Section 13 notice every time you wish to increase the rent. By discussing the proposed increase with your tenant, getting their agreement in writing, and having a mutual understanding, you can maintain a positive landlord-tenant relationship and reduce the likelihood of rental arrears. However, if the tenant does not agree and you are confident that the proposed rent aligns with the market value, you may need to resort to the Section 13 process. So, raising rents responsibly is not detrimental and does not necessarily lead to tenant turnover. By staying proactive in managing your investment and adopting strategies to align rent with market conditions, you can safeguard your property's value and financial returns in the long run. Now, at the beginning of this video, I promised you a free gift. I want to invite you to my next landlord legislation webinar, where I go more in depth into important market updates and legislation changes. All you need to do is click the link in the description of this video and register your place for free.